start. I'm sure there will come some more people later on, but let's start with the presentation. But firstly, I want to introduce myself. My name is Antti Wolk. I'm 44 years old, being now the managing director of Wolk Aftersales, and my responsibility is the market intelligence part in our company, meaning that I'm responsible for all data-driven products that we sell on a multi-client basis to our clients. And that is today's topic, where I'm proud to present you our after-sales access database. For those who don't know exactly about our company, Wolk Aftersales is now being on the market since more than 25 years. We always have been focused entirely on the aftermarket, on the automotive aftermarket business. Of course, starting from Germany, but since more than 15 years, we have a broad coverage and broad experience on all European aftermarkets, which is going to be also the content of today's database. Since 4 years, we are also looking more and more to the international markets, such as North American market, of course, Asia with China and other markets. So in the next years, we are going to spread and expand the database to more and more markets. Yeah, but let me welcome you once again. Thank you very much for giving your attention, of spending 1 hour with us, having this webinar today. Yeah, what you can expect from today's webinar is exactly the after-sales access database content. I'm going to share my screen with you. And the next 45 minutes, I'm going step by step through the different modules so that you can learn and understand what is exactly the content of the database, how can you work with it, and what is what is the general intention of this database. From timing, as I said, it's about 45 minutes, and at the end there is time for a Q&A session, but I would like to encourage you to engage yourself also in between, as we are a rather small group today. Please raise your hand or unmute yourself and raise your question in between. I'm happy to answer, and it's always very nice to have interactive session rather than me presenting 45 minutes in the row. For your information, we are recording this session. So whenever you feel uncomfortable, please be aware that we are taking recording of the session so that we can share the recording also with people who are not attending today. But let's start now into the topic. As you can see, this is the after-sales access database, and it's an online-driven database. You can access this from every browser, from anywhere you want. This is something what is built on a BI tool. So everything you click in this database will change according to the selection you made. And it's something what we sell on a user subscription basis, so our customers can log in at any time and use the data from anywhere they want. The general intention is that we want to give our customers that are engaged in the aftermarket a tool that helps you to understand and all the different markets in a comparable way. So the main intention is to help sales and marketing people to understand what is the entire potential in different markets, how are the market structures, who are the market players I need to address to do business in certain markets. And towards the simple presentations or the simple PDFs and reportings that we did in the past, where it's only limited to the recent or the last years, this database, of course, has the great benefit that we always have the entire historical information from 2012 until today. You see here 5 different modules, and on the right side we have also kind of a news feed where we are showing always the latest mergers, acquisitions, or if there is a company changing from one to another international trade group, etc. It's something that we are collecting and observing on the daily basis, and you can have this information here within the BI tool, where the idea is to have as much information you need for understanding the markets better at one spot. Starting from the right to the left, we have the vehicle data, which is certainly one of the core information you need to understand the markets. We have calculated the market volumes for the single countries. With the garage structures, we understand the number of garages by types, etc. And the last 2 modules are about the single players, the single car parts wholesalers, distributors in the markets. So let's start from right to left. I start here with
Mr. Wolk?
the... Yes?
Did you already share your screen?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes. So
because I don't see it, okay. Maybe I have an issue with...
No, I will restart. Good that you... I hope everybody can see it by now. Please let me know.
I can see it. I can see it.
I do not. I still do not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I could do at this stage because I'm sharing. I think most can see, and we haven't done anything special, so that you should see as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, but I only can see you.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you find out a way. There must be some different settings at your end. Yeah. Okay, I hope that all the other attendants can see the vehicle data platform or the dashboard now. What we are showing here is the general registered passenger cars per country. And as you can see from the map, our coverage is the entire European continent, including Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Turkey. So this is the general focus. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are partly looking also to other regions, but at the moment, all the content, all the information we are showing here, we want to have it really comparable at all stages. Therefore, we are still covering here at the moment only the European continent, but please feel free to ask us if we have partly information also for other countries and continents. There is way more. But here in the database, due to the potential comparison between them, we are focusing at the moment on the European continent. We find here the total registered passenger cars, what we are researching from the official sources, country by country. Further, we have the first registrations, we have the car density, we have average age and the average mileage per country. Furthermore, important information is the age split to understand what is the important and addressable part of the VIO in the car segment or age segment that is, at least from the theory, more interesting to the independent aftermarket. And if I scroll down, we see also the historical development, the growth per year, and the registered or the total car park, in this case in Germany, how it has been developing over the last 8 years. And similar for the registrations, we see clearly the drop in 2020, and very soon in mid of October this month, we will update then this information to 2021. From the technical aspect, as I mentioned, everything is built so that you can click here another country, either in the map, or you can select it also from the bar and pie charts. Everything will change accordingly, and mostly you will find a table where we have all the information summarized in one table, and that is also possible to download as an image, CSV file, PDF, or Excel, so that you can start working at your own end with Excel or any other tool. So this is for all the different dashboards I'm showing you, mostly the case that you will find this summary table at the end of the dashboard. Furthermore, you will find always on the top right an info button, which is giving a general information on the meaning of the dashboard, what is the main purpose, and we have information on the different definitions that we are using so that it's clear what is behind all the abbreviations you will find. Further, you have also info buttons for each of the widgets. In some cases, you will find here also explanations on the different, on the single widgets in many cases. Okay, I think this is clear, finding the total number of registered cars per country. And then we're putting this information one step further down so that we have also the information on the registered passenger cars by brand. And that is something we get provided by the company Tech Alliance. They are providing us with the information with the split into the different brand names. And we are aggregating this information also to a couple other information. Like here, we are aggregating premium car brands towards high volume car brands, or the origin of the car manufacturer. And again, we have the split by age. Here we see the aggregation to the car manufacturers groups we have. So we see in Italy, we have a very dominant situation of Stellantis group, and further down, we have finally the split into the different car makes or brands, where we see Fiat is, surprisingly the biggest brand in Italy. And we have also the split by the car ages here. So that certainly helps to understand the market at this level, at a high level, on a very to get a good understanding at this stage. Whenever you need this information on a more detailed level, to go down on a model level or even up down to the K-type level, this is certainly something we recommend to get in touch with Tech Alliance or potentially other providers to get this information. We are limited to this make level, again, because we provide these high-level information for sales and marketing.
Sorry, I have one quick question. For the registered cars, is there also a split by engine fuel? I mean, gasoline, diesel, or BEV cars?
A good question. Not at the moment, but we are working on this, and it will be potentially within the next update by next year, so that we have also the split by engine types.
Mm-hmm. Because in some cases, for the product you sell, the total available market is depending on the typology of the engine or the fuel.
I totally agree, especially when we are looking to the new registrations. It's a very interesting figure to keep an eye on, how big is the portion of EVs, BEVs, or hybrid cars, to see how fast this electrification is progressing country per country.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, going to the next module, which is about the aftermarket volumes. This is something that we are calculating on our own. The measure we see here is the total aftermarket volume in value in euros. meaning that 23 billion euros in Germany has been generated on the level to end consumers. This includes only the parts price. There is not included labor cost, also no VAT included, only the parts price to the end consumer. Further, we give information on the channel split. That means that 43% of this 23 billion is generated in the authorized network, the network belonging to the car manufacturers, and 57% of the 23 billion euros is generated in all other channels that do not belong to the car manufacturers network in the independent aftermarket channel. That includes all independent garages, of course, retail stores, gas stations, etc. All potential locations that are selling car parts to end consumers. We see here that we have also, the historical information starting from 2012, where we are calculating these information on the annual basis. We have further the split into the OE and IAM channel by 10 different product groups. So this is these are the 10 different product groups where we have the split. We are showing the different product groups in their development. And we see here, down here, 2 pie charts on the left side. This is the split of the product groups for the German market, and we see a comparison to this on the European market. And at this stage, mostly, it raises the question, do you have this information also for single product groups like brakes, shock absorbers, oil filters, etc.? And I have to say, in this database, unfortunately not. This is the level that we can cover, so that we can cover all 35 different countries to being comparable among each others. But when it goes in deeper level, then we have to do this for now on an exclusive project basis. And feel free to reach out to us if you have the need for specific countries, for specific product groups. There is more data available, or then we need to conduct market research to find out more information on specific product groups. Mainly it's in combination also regarding purchasing behavior, a brand split, so that you gain a lot of more information apart from the only having the share or the total value in a specific market for a specific product group. Okay, if there is no further question regarding this module, I will go back. But please feel free to leave your questions either in the chat or to ask later on also to modules that is already presented. The next module is about the garage structures. This is a very straightforward module. Now we have the live presentation, short error. Okay, this is the garage structure. As said, the very straightforward module showing the total numbers of garages, in this case in Germany, and we split it down into the different garage types. We're splitting in the typical independent mechanic garages, in the OES garages. This is our abbreviation, meaning is the authorized garage network. And we split into different specialists like tire, body paint, auto glass, auto center, fast fitters. This is something you find then for all of the different countries in the same pattern. And of course, with the historical development about the last years and more information also about the total volume that garages are generating in the single markets. This is the first layer of information regarding the structures. Putting this a little bit more into details. But regarding the general information, the general structure, we have it also for the truck or views on the truck, as we have it also on the vehicle data for trucks with the split in LCVs and HDVs. So the general information here for the number of garages related to trucks is findable here as well. But the deeper layer I just mentioned is this module where we are collecting all the different garage concepts in the European market. I will clear the filter to have the full picture. So we see the number of 138,000. This is reflecting the number of garages that having contracts to one of these available systems in the market. And we are talking about 1,050 different systems, but this is including systems, or we counted every system country per country, meaning that a Bosch car service being having presence in 27 countries, being counted 27 times in this case. But when I go further down, we have also the consolidated view. So in total, we are talking about 607 single garage systems in all European markets. We divide further in typical independent garage systems or concepts like a Bosch car service, and we divide into fast fitters. These are garage concepts like meters or the speedy, so being a network, a chain with the aim of doing more simple and fast fittings and repairs. And then we have auto centers that are companies like ATU and Noroto. The definition of an auto center is that there is repair and sales of car parts and accessories to end consumers under the same roof, under the same building. And here we see once again the same concept of our dashboards. So you have firstly the possibility to do a lot of selections before you come to the end and see at the end the number of the companies or the systems that you are looking for. So in the first pie chart, we see the concepts by their type of the business relation. It's when we're talking about garage concepts, always very important to understand how is the relation between the concept driver, the concept owner, and the single garages. Is it a real chain where all the outlets are owned by the mother company? Or is it a franchise system which is more tight because of the contract situation? Or is it a partner system where the relation between concept and garage is more loose and mostly based on annually targets that has to be achieved to get bonuses, etc. Then you can filter also or find out what kind of business type is the garage concept owner. Is it a component manufacturer? Is it a distributor? Or is it a trade and buying group, etc.? Let's focus once again on Germany. I select Germany, and then we can filter into the typical garage marketing systems. I will focus for now on the general mechanic garages and not on the different specializations. And we will see in a second a list of the top 15 garage concepts sorted by the number of connected garages. We see here Auto Team with 1,420 connected garages and so on. In red, below to this, we see the number of garages by the concept owner. That is a helpful way to find out when we are talking about WM, what kind of systems they are operating in Germany. At the end, we again find the table of all selected concepts. with all summarized information about the type, about the specialization if there is any, and the number of connected garages, etc. Every time you find a blue highlighted number here, it's clickable and you will jump directly into the detailed profile. So we have detailed profile of all the garage concepts and all the distributors that we learn later. Company profile shows always company contacts, company address, and a summary of the company itself by type, by number of connected garages, by number of company employees. You find the homepage, etc., to get directly on their homepage to do further research. We have information on the location. You would see in which countries such a concept is active. We are talking now about a concept being only active in Germany. And we see down here all the locations, all the garages that are connected to AutoTeam, so that you can quickly understand where is this concept located. Is it a nationwide concept? Is it rather regional? And we directly see there is a probably historical reason behind. We have a lot of garages connected in Western Germany and fewer in Eastern Germany. And on the right side, we would see even the connected garages in other countries except to Germany, if this concept would be active in other countries. So this kind of information you find, and down here you have also the list of distributors that are supplying in these concept. In this case, it's only WM because it's the concept owner, but there are several other concepts that are supplied and provided by many different distributors. For your information, these kind of detailed address information is something that we collect as well, to have these information either here visualized to see where are they located. But in general, we have all address information of the single addresses of the single garages in the background, which is not part of this database, but being part of a different tool that we are providing, where you can either have the total picture of all garages, or we do sell these addresses also without any connection to a tool, so that you can have these addresses as well. Okay, so I hope there are no further questions regarding the garage concepts. To summarize, it's a tool to get a full picture of what concepts in which markets are available, who is driving them, how many garages are connected, to find out more information on these kind of relations. As a lot of drivers or concept owners are coming from the distribution side, we are now looking to the distribution. We're having two modules with more or less the same content. So it's always about the distributors or wholesalers that are specialized in selling car parts or other components related to passenger cars and trucks. And that is part of the distribution overview. We are showing all information about the single wholesalers. And in the trade and buying groups module, we are showing only those distributors and wholesalers that are members of one of these big international trade and buying groups. So firstly, I will jump into this module and coming back to the trade and buying groups in a second. Again, we are starting with a selection, with an overview where we can make the selection to narrow down everything to the selection that we are looking for. I will focus here once again on the typical independent distributors, but we are having information also on direct marketers that are companies like Wirth, Förch, that are specialized in selling C parts and equipment to garages. Again, we have the auto centers and we have retail chains that are selling car parts on a B2C level to car drivers. That is mainly something what we find in the Northern European countries. Well, let's stick to the typical independent distributors. I will select specialization, saying none, meaning that I want to focus on all the companies that are generalist, that are selling any kinds of car parts. But you could drill down or filter also for truck, tires, body and paint. You can also narrow down here into pure e-commerce players or looking to all. So these kind of filterings you can do. For your further information, there are two panels on the right side and the left side. The right panel you can open by clicking on this little arrow, and you will find the filters here. And it's possible to do the selection also from this filter panel so that you can start searching for a single company name, or you can make a selection of plenty of specializations, etc. So there is always a way making selections and filtering through this filter panel, but in general, the dashboard is built in a way so that you can do all filterings by clicking in the dashboard. Yeah, let's focus again on Germany, or I quickly deselect. So we see we have only looking at the general distributors selling all kinds of parts. We have more than 5,000 single company profiles in the back, and we see directly a differentiation or a summary by their size of turnover. We see that there are 86 companies doing more than 100 million turnover, 331 are between 20 and 100 million, etc. I will drill down into the country of Germany. We see here we are talking about 849 companies, 12 of them being very big and 28 in the mid-size, etc. Down here we see now three columns dividing the view. That is something helping you also to understand how the market is structured. So on the left side, we are looking only at the single company. Single company means in this case, we are looking at OEM, we are looking at Stahlgruber, and we are looking only what is Stahlgruber doing in Germany, what is the turnover. And we see it's roughly €1 billion. And the difference to the national view is that we are then looking, is there other companies belonging to Stahlgruber? If yes, then we are aggregating and calculating the total volume, the total turnover together, and we see that looking at Stahlgruber nationwide, it's the biggest company because they have associates with PV and Neimke, and altogether they're doing 1.4 billion. So this is the logic here. On the left side, single companies in the view to understand what is the biggest company, but on the national view is showing then the aggregation if there are subdivision, sub-companies belonging to the mother company, then we have it aggregated on this level. So you cannot read this information from the left to right. There is no connection between WM and Stahlgruber. It's just to be read from top to down, and yeah, otherwise it can lead in misunderstanding here. And on the right side, we have also the European view. So here we do the same, but then on the European level, we are looking and aggregating all companies that are belonging to one mother company on the European level. And we end up here with the information that LKQ, GPC, Intercars are the top 3 companies LKQ in this case with 32 single companies belonging to them and having an aggregated turnover of 5.4 billion euro turnover. Again here, to all of these companies, we have single profiles. I will go into the profile of LKQ. It will probably last a little bit. We see here Mr. Arndt Franz is still in. That has to be corrected, of course. We have company address. We have, again, details about the association or membership to the different ITGs, etc. We have information on company news, latest M&A activities. And again, we have here this spread or the distribution of the single outlets. And we directly see here all single sales outlets of all the companies that belong to the LKQ. We see the full coverage on the European continent. And we certainly see that there is still, not covered everything. There is still countries to be covered. Even more interesting is the company tree. So that lets you understand we are looking at LKQ Europe, which is then again part of LKQ in the US. And you find what companies are belonging to the LKQ family. So with Stahlgruber and its belonging companies, RIAC, etc. So this is very helpful to understand at one picture, how is it, what companies are all belonging to LKQ. And you get it also at a table view, at the list, with summary information on each of the single belonging companies, from where you could potentially now jump into the single profile of a RIAC, of an LKQ in Czech Republic, to understand how is this company doing in the single countries. So this is, of course, a very extensive list as we're looking at the biggest company in Europe. And at the bottom, we find also the historical development of all the different companies. We would see if there is a changing of, from one to the another ITG. We see the number of associates to understand in what years these companies have been growing by getting or acquiring new companies, etc. So this is the full profile of LKQ, and this is available for all the more than 7,000 companies that are collected in this database, so that you can find very detailed information on each of the companies. And once again, in this module, we have collected all companies disregarding they are member of an ITG, of an international trade and buying group, or if they are totally independent. These three columns are also clickable, so we have a similar view always on the single company side, on the national view, to make it more helpful, because in this case you have only the top 5 companies to see, but if you click on the button, you will get also the full list, what is then again, downloadable to Excel or other formats as shown before. Yes, this is the type of content you find from the distribution overview. And we have then the last module to take, which is about the single distributors, but now we are looking only to those distributors that are member of one of the ITGs. And that's a very helpful tool for everybody who has a key account for one of these international trade and buying groups, to understand who is member, what is their size, what is the changes, what are the recent changes in the ITGs, who became a new member, who has left the the group, etc. So in the first glance, we see an overview about the big 6 international trade and buying groups. We see aggregated turnover. We see the number of single distributors they are having here. And it's necessary to understand that our perception on this is that we collect every single wholesaler that is organized under ATR, under a Group Auto, etc. This is a different view from how the single international trade and buying groups perceive themselves, because they sometimes counting their members only when they are shareholders and not the single distributors, etc. Therefore, it's important to understand that our numbers are always reflecting each single wholesaler or distributor that is organized among the entire umbrella of a ITG. And we certainly understand here from the average turnover per member directly how they are structured. We understand that ATR is having mostly the big distributors as members. A Group Auto is more distributed with more distributors, but with the smaller ones, etc. And down here, we see also in pie charts the distribution by the turnover sizes. We can jump here to each of the single distributor ITGs to get the full list of all 398 members of ADE. Or we can narrow down into the single countries so that we can say in Austria, show me the 20 members of Group Auto, for example, and we can jump again into a detailed profile, and we are having information on the single members. Now for Group Auto in Austria. We see the historical development. That is the development of the number of associates per year. So we saw starting from 2012, they lost about 5 associates in this time. And we see here again also in what years, what kind of companies are joining the ITG. We see that FSN, for example, has been in this year joining Group Auto in Austria. And we see also what companies has left the group. So this is a very helpful to understand who is new in the group and what companies have left. What is the total turnover we are talking recently about this group. And again, historical views on the turnover development and number of employees. So this is the part you find at this stage. And again, this is only about the members of the single international trade and buying groups. You can filter or go country by country to understand who is member of these ITGs country by country. But you can go even more in detail because we have in a lot of countries, we have specific country or national trade and buying groups being then part of the international trade and buying groups or being even completely independent. So in this case, we see here, staying in the example of Austria, that looking at Group Auto, we have Group Auto ATP Austria and we have Coparts being 2 national trade and buying groups belonging to Group Auto International. But we have also other groups that are completely independent and not belonging to the ITGs. So from that aspect, it's going way more granular into the details to understand what other groups are there that are not connected to the international trade and buying groups. And yeah, understanding also how on a national level, how is the memberships built into potentially different national trade and buying groups. Okay, so this is the information you can find from all these 5 different modules. And I would like to ask the question to my audience if there are any topics that you are missing or that needs to be put on a more granular level that I should repeat. So please let me know if there is some questions missing or left open. I'm happy to answer. Let's see if there is someone raising with a question. Otherwise, I will come more to the end and giving a couple of information about how you can access these information. As I said in the beginning, it's a subscription-based model that we are selling, so everybody can purchase user licenses so that you can log in and digest all the information. We are selling at the moment only annual licenses. Whenever you purchase the access, you will have access for 24 months and 12 months, sorry, and you can consume the data for the entire period of 1 year. And it starts with a typical we are selling this information on the module based. You can either go for one single country. In this case, you can purchase or only the full package of all information. Let's say you need this for Italy, you need this for Turkey. So then you get all information about distribution, garage structure, market volumes, and the vehicle data, all the full package. And you can, starting from 5 countries, you can even select a single of these modules. Starting from 5 countries or more, you can say, I'm interested only in the garage structures, I need only the market volumes, and then it's possible to narrow down to this specific module. After this presentation, my colleague Felix, who's joining as well, he will provide you with additional information. You will get a presentation in PDF with a summary of these content information, and you will get also data, login data for demo access so that you can log in yourself and take a look yourself. The data certainly is limited to one country, it's Austria. So feel free to explore yourself, and yeah, you will get also information on the pricing, of course, so that you have the full package of information, how you can get this information for your and your company. We will certainly follow up on these conversation we had, but please feel free to get in touch with us if you have any more questions, or if you would like to share this information with your colleagues. I'm happy to have this kind of presentation again in a one-on-one session where we can go more in the details of your needs, etc. So that would be all possible, and please get in touch with us if there is more information needed. So Felix, do we have any questions? I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay, so if the content seems to be clear and there is no questions, yeah, I have to thank you for your attention. I hope it was helpful for you to understand the content and in what way we can assist you. I would really appreciate for a short feedback, and I hope to get in touch with you soon. Let us know if we can help you in any way. And yeah, as said, we are reaching out to you with an email, providing you with PDF and the login credentials for the demo account. Yeah, in this case, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and let's stay in touch.
Thank you too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.